Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round number 17, season 3 for what is career mode, where we are George Russell doing a fantasy career mode as George Russell. Right now, we sit currently third in the championship after our latest race win over Valtteri Bottas, and it was, I believe, the team's second 1-2 finish of the season, apart from Italy was our other 1-2 finish. So yeah, very good results recently for not only us, but also the team. Obviously, we're heading into the Japanese Grand Prix, one of the most iconic circuits on the calendar. This is where the 1988 championship was decided, 2011 championship decided. I believe also the 1991 championship was decided here. This is one of the most famous tracks for deciding world championships. In recent times, the most recent championship to be actually, I believe, decided here was Sebastian Vettel's double championship back in 2011, but otherwise there's been also other occasions when the championship has been decided at this circuit. Schumacher's won his championship at this circuit. Many famous drivers, of course. It's sort of like the destination for deciding the championship. In this day and age, it's a little bit it's high. You could probably win the championship at this stage in the championship. But don't get me wrong, you'd need a very good car, you'd need a very good season, and no one else would have to challenge you, sort of thing. Which, in recent years, has been pretty much impossible. Because you had the Nico Hamilton battle, that always went near enough down to the wire. Then you've had the Vettel and Hamilton battle, and that even goes quite close to the final race, even. But yeah, we'll get into this anyway. Hopefully, we'll have a good weekend. In terms of the car, I think this car does suit this track, personally, but we'll have to wait and see, of course, how, obviously, our car fares around here. I think it's going to be an interesting one, put it that way. So yeah, let's then go up through the hill, then, as we make our way up through the Senna, I think it's the Senna S's, or it could be the Schumacher S's. I know it's one of them, of them famous drivers. Then, as we head into the first of the two Lesmos around here, up the hill into the famous hairpin. Good car. Nicely under-rotated through here, then out of that corner. Then you got a little bit of a weight, you're sort of like just tadding the steering wheel to the right, so you're just making small corrections. Then into the Spoon corner, through Spoon, you want to get a clean exit out of Spoon, then that leads you once again onto this sort of a bit of a curved back straight here, as we approach one of the most famous overtaking spots by Fernando Alonso, 130R. Then into this famous corner where Senna took out Alan Prost in, I believe it was the 1988 championship or 1989, one of them. As we now get ready to do a lap of the Suzuka circuit, our first timed lap of the weekend through turn 1. We head into now the Senna S's or Schumacher S's. Now this is the only circuit on literally the race calendar that is shaped like a figure of 8. Right, under the halfway point here at Suzuka. We can still get purple, but we need to score purple every single place now. Just thought I'd let you know. Car feels good though, I will say that. just in the calculations, whether or not we're on track for purple. We're on track for purple. It's purple. Yes, there we go. I said we could still get purple despite having the red and the green, because I knew obviously how many points we needed roughly. So yeah, we got purple first time straight away there, which is quite nice. Right, we're going to put on a car setup now. Hopefully one that will work. Won't change much at this stage. And should we do time management today again? Because I fancy doing the time management. Why not? And then hopefully the car feels good or better than what it did before. Car felt good though. Felt like it had downforce, which is always nice. But sometimes too much downforce can also be a bad thing as well. You gotta see it from 2 points of view. The downforce can equal drag as well, if that makes sense. Alright, up into the hairpin. Down the hill now. And the car feels amazing at this stage, I will just say that. Yes, that's us now on top, which was amazing. Honestly, the car felt spectacular running that setup. The only thing, I might just tweak the front wing in qualifying if I feel like I'm happy with the first lap, yeah. But I felt like the car was on it there all the way, you know, like, I don't think we got in the perfect lap, don't get me wrong, okay, which is nice, but the car felt comfortable. It didn't feel like I was over pushing the car, which obviously you don't want to be feeling like you're doing in practice. So obviously when you get to the qualifying, you know you've got the car there underneath you, if that makes sense. Whereas if you don't feel like you've got that in qualifying, it can really affect your mindset going into the qualifying, if that makes sense. And obviously, therefore the car can feel like it's all over the place, you know. You know, like, there have been occasions when in the race, you know, I've had a good car in qualifying and race, but yeah, you know, like, hopefully we'll have a good one here, you know, today. But yeah, it felt good so far, should I say. Can't deny that. Right, anyway. We're now going to basically... We're now gonna basically go into qualifying, and let's see what we can do, as us two Mercedes, I believe, are going out 1-2 formation basically here, as they would say. Bottas is out first, as we now set on our out laps as well. So who's first out of the garage? That Haas could have done without inconveniently. I think my teammate's first out of the garage. He must be. We got a nice little gap as well. Just want to point that out. There's no other car coming out behind me as of yet, or down the pit lane, which is nice. Obviously that's always what you look for. One car now joining the track, but it's, what, 4 corners behind, which is a long, long way around here. Now around here, you sort of want to open the gap to about 6 seconds, which, you know, so you don't get affected by the cars in front of you, your car in front's wake. So that's why I'm slowing it a little bit down on this lap, making sure that we get nice track air. Now, in all fairness, this is probably one of the highest chances of rain this weekend as well, in terms of weather. As a track, you tend to get a lot of rain here. Right, so we're gonna get ready. Hopefully it'll be a clean one. Right, down main straight into, or heading towards turn 1. You're literally focusing on the second part. It's about carrying as much speed as you dare through there, and then going through these S's, carry as much speed possible. That's really what wins you the time. Make sure you get good middle speed through the corners, and exit top of hill and into first Lesmo. Slow the car down underneath the bridge, then really open up the car again. And this, now you're entering the second part of the lap, obviously. Out of a hairpin. Hasn't been, I don't think, the greatest of laps so far, but we'll soon know, because it will reflect on the time. Hopefully that Williams in front of us doesn't impede us. We're approaching it fast. Through 130R, Valtteri Bottas does fastest lap so far. We gonna go fastest, but we did make a huge mistake out of that final corner, so I don't think it's going to be pole as of yet. I definitely know we've got time in the tank, definitely 100%. Then that damage out of the final corner, we just slid through that final bit. I reckon we can get into the 126s. So we're now nursing the car back to the pit lane, of course. But yeah, Ricciardo in third, surprisingly, so I'm happy to beat Ricciardo. You know, Daniel Ricciardo, obviously championship rival in some sense. Obviously having to limp this car back to the pit lane. Raikkonen now goes fastest, does a 127.4, so about a 10th clear. Obviously impeding Ricciardo a little bit, but he's already done a flying lap. Go, you idiot! I'm not on a flying lap.
P2. You're currently in second place.
I just don't want to impede cars behind, because as you can tell, I'm trying to nurse tyres back to the pit lane as well, and I'm trying to also manage the damage on my front wing. Hopefully I'll be fixed. Only a little bit of damage, but yeah, still damage. But I reckon there is time then to be found, which is nice. Right, so that's our first flying lap over and done with. But yeah, I think there's certainly time to be found and won. Hopefully we will find that time. But it was literally on that final corner where we probably lost I would say 3 or 4 tenths when you take it into consideration, because obviously the impact of the wall is going to slow you down. I'd say, let's say minimum it would have lost 3 tenths, but maximum it would have lost,
We've had to spend time
I don't
repairing
know,
the damage to the
maybe
car.
4 tenths. So yeah, in terms of though where we are, right now we're in an alright position. I'm not too disheartened by that, you know. I'm quite happy with the way things are sat. We're in P2, so, you know. Right, we're going to go out there for a second flying lap then. Hopefully this time, fingers crossed, we will get in the perfect lap. Or a lap better than that one. Because really that damage did do us over. And was the difference between, you know, was the difference between pole position maybe and second place. So yeah, hopefully we'll get in a good lap. Obviously we're now starting to leave the pit lane, of course. 1 minute 50 to go, so we will have easily enough time to get round and to do a flyer. So I have no worries in our timing at the moment, you know, because what, the lap was 1:27, so if that was 1 minute 27, don't get me wrong, we'll easily get round. We'll get round with like 30 seconds to spare right now. So 1 minute to go, just over 1 minute 13 to be precise. As the clock's ticking down. We want to be the last man across the line. So you get, hopefully, the best of track conditions. So 40 seconds just to go. From here it's about a 30-second run to the line. To be precise. Alright, we're now gonna go for it. Our final corner, here we go. So second flying lap, please Ocon, don't impede me. Four tenths down, that's bad. Well, that was good through there. That's what we needed. Just trying to find every bit of the car that we've got. And we're a tenth down, but as I say, it's really the final bit of a lap where we're gonna overly improve. 4 tenths down. Is it final bit of a lap where we improve? I think we got the pole.
Fantastic.
Is it? Yes, we have. Pole position. Lovely stuff. We done it, and that is our first pole position. Oh wow, yes. There we go. I'm happy. Whew. Yes.
The grid is set then, so
And yeah, that's really good for us, because Daniel Ricciardo is actually not in a position where he should be. He needs, if we outscore Ricciardo by 10 points per race, obviously he can still be world champion. But if we outscore Ricciardo by more than 10 points, there is a chance the championship is on. So yeah, you know, very, very good that
You
was.
left a lot
Great
of paint on the
qualifying.
walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you...
But yeah, that was brilliant qualifying, you know.
Great! Well, that's everything.
In all honesty, two fairly decent laps. If it wasn't for that contact, I think we would have got pole position on the first lap, and I don't think really there would have been much challenge from behind. But it wasn't down to the first lap. It was down to both of them laps. We got a good banker lap in, and we improved on our first lap. We could have gone faster, I think, through the first sector. That's where I think we did lose a bit of time on that last lap, and I reckon there was maybe another 3 or 4 tenths in that lap, but not much. You know, like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy we got pole. You know, that is a great result.
Call that a successful.
So yeah, we'll be starting our first race from the front row, should I say. And how brilliant is that when you think of it? Front row start for us. That's an absolutely fabulous result, realistically. I don't think I could have asked for anything more or less, realistically. So yeah, you know, I'm happy with that. I am happy.
We're live today from the Mie Prefecture
so yeah.
of Japan as we look forward to the Japanese Grand Prix. The 2015 race here was one of only 5 Grand Prix in history. Well then, after an exciting...
this obviously one of the most historical Grand Prix on the calendar.
The inside on the run down to turn 1.
So yeah, don't get me wrong, just because we got pole, it ain't the race over yet. So, you know, alright, practice start. Leading our first race. Obviously, no one in front of us, as you can see, as we take the field round on what is our first ever pole position formation lap, as we lead our way to the grid, which is exciting in a way. Obviously, don't get me wrong, I've done this before this bit, but I haven't done it in this career mode, in this precise career mode. So yeah, it's a bit nice, different, of course. Ooh. Can we just use a flashback for that? I didn't want to do that. As we take the grid away. The only thing is, and I'm gonna say it now, taking the grid on a formation lap feels slow when you're leading. That's the only thing I find. It feels, think about it, just feels slower. Alright. Obviously have to control the pace of everyone as well. Don't want any uneven gaps. Want people to stay relatively in check, if you know where I'm coming from. Oh dear. Small brush of rule. Alright, anyway, as we're gonna bunch everyone up a little bit, keep them nice and close. Raikkonen sort of showing his intention. He wants to speed things up. But we are going to keep things bunched up because I don't want to be sat on the waiting start line for too long, if you know where I'm coming from. Anything that's quite long obviously makes tyres go colder, and I don't want that really. Whereas if we can keep it bunched up, it just means everyone gets to the grid a bit early and the start lights go out a lot quicker, as we now prepare for what is then round number 17. This could be the most important race of our career in some sense, because if we win, Ricciardo finishes 6th, is the championship back on. Lights out and away we go. It's been a good start for Kimi Räikkönen and Max Verstappen as we get swamped again down into the first corner. Kimi Räikkönen is round. I had to take avoiding action. Max Verstappen's leading the Grand Prix. So yeah, Kimi Räikkönen is now in. Well, I don't know where Kimi Räikkönen is, but he ain't no longer in the top 3. Obviously, Verstappen and I got away all got through that all cleanly. Luckily, I reacted in enough time, and I had enough time to react. But yeah, we're obviously second place, so we didn't make that bad of a start. It wasn't our fault Kimi got spun round, but it wasn't obviously, yeah, great. Obviously, Max Verstappen made a good start as well. We got sort of swamped by Raikkonen and Verstappen, so we couldn't really do anything apart from sit there and watch what was going on in front of us. Really, that's all I could do, and that's all I did do. Right, we're gonna turn up the engine, obviously. Hopefully we'll win this race. Obviously, we've got plenty of fuel to run, and in all honesty, I think ERS lasts quite long here. Because of the heavy braking zones, I'm not sure. I certainly know on the qualifying lap we weren't using it all, and that's a qualifying lap. Oh dear, no! Oh. Well, I know where Ricardo is. He's in 4th. Right, we'll just use a flashback from here. Because I sort of lost it. Oh, fuck. I just want to make sure we get... Right, there we go. I don't want to pick up penalty. Don't give me a penalty. It's all game there. I'll drop a little bit. How much were we behind? I'm going to say we were a second behind. So, there. That seems fair for me. So I've taken a small penalty, sort of myself. Anyway, lap 2. Forget about the flashback that we've used and that small corner cut. My teammate's in the pits for whatever reason. Wonder if he had damage to his car.
Okay, clear.
So we now go
Valtteri is in the pits.
chasing Verstappen. Alright, let's go for it. Let's regain focus. Because that first lap, in a way, has put me off a little bit. With all the drama. There's so much going on there at that first corner, in all honesty. See, we made a slight error off the start, I think. We got a little bit too much wheel spin. Right now, Verstappen is looking good.
Race officials have enabled DRS.
He's already 1.4. Ricardo looking also almighty. These Red Bulls are out to get me, aren't they? See, thing is, if I don't win, this Grand Prix, we're more or less out of the championship running.
Update on the car for you. Tyres looking very nice. Shouldn't have to worry about the wear too much right now. Brilliant manoeuvre. 2 places at once.
I don't know what 2 places you've seen. Alright, out of the spoon corner. Gotta get Verstappen here ASAP. Fastest middle sector. Our final corner.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
Oh, that was the perfect opportunity to make a pit stop.
Positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down, maintain positive delta. Drop your speed.
Right.
If delta is too low,
I'm
risk a
coming in.
penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
So Ocon and Hartley are out of the race.
Check your MFD for a new strategy.
Why is Ricciardo not come past? What's wrong with Ricciardo?
Copy that.
Somehow I've pulled out 10 seconds on Daniel Ricciardo.
Slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace. Box this lap, please.
Alright, Max Verstappen, I presume, coming in as well. Yep, in comes Max. Right, come on team, service me.
Exit now.
Alright. We can race on the pit apron, which is pit exit, basically, but I don't think we're going to be close enough.
Look after these tyres now.
Vettel's coming, and we get out ahead of Vettel. Bring these tyres in quite nicely. Do a good old push a little bit. Warm them up. So Ricciardo is going to be in a horrible position. So, in a way, it doesn't really matter if I win this race anymore that much when you now think of it, because Ricciardo's going to come out in such a horrible position. Could be outside the top 10 for Ricciardo.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember, there is no overtaking until
Safety car in this lap.
lap.
Oh my days, Ricciardo's going to get swamped. So, come on, Ricciardo. So Ricciardo is literally got no hope. Right, we're close enough. We're through. That's us now in the race lead, effectively. Ricardo's in. We are going to take the race lead, and we don't have to make any more pit stops. So we are now the interval race leader. Fastest first sector. And we're pulling out a little bit on Max Verstappen, which is quite nice indeed. Fastest middle sector as well now. So we're now starting to release the W09 into its own territory. If this ain't the fastest lap, then I don't know what is. There we go, a brand new fastest lap of the race, a 1:29.499, I believe, or 49, something like that. It's only a 1:29.4. We look to go now for a casual race to the end, hopefully. Gonna sort of turn down the engine and just focus on driving now the car. 5/10 off what I'd expect. I'm only driving the car now in its maximum fuel mode and in engine mode 3. So not too fussed about going for fastest lap. I've already got that under my belt. Yeah, don't think Verstappen's close enough down here. My Mercedes is too much for the Renault Tacuy. And Verstappen is literally, I don't think, got anything to answer.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Championship update.
As things stand, we'll be second in the championship. We're leading our
That's the
teammate
closest
by
Verstappen's
37.0
been all day.
seconds.
Oh, Verstappen! What an idiot. In all honesty. He runs out wide. That ain't my fault. I obviously undertake him, of course, because he's off the track. And then he rejoins aggressively and in a way very dangerously and tries to cut in front of me, forcing me to go off track to overtake him. So I almost could have been taken out of the race there. Very luckily still in it, in all honesty, and still fighting for the win. Very lucky. See, Verstappen then must have been right on my gearbox coming out of that turn. And I presume he's going to be right on it again. I have to watch here. Yeah, he's certainly close. I think this time a bit too far back, if you were to ask me. 4 tenths. You need to be really within 3 tenths to have a chance. If you know where I'm coming from. Oh, we're a bit shaky. Still, luckily on the track. I think Verstappen is going to be alongside.
There's 3 laps of fuel
My Mercedes is just right now pulling me along to victory right now. If it wasn't for that engine in the back of the car, I tell you what, I think Verstappen would have had us by now. Right, we're going to go to the middle. Yellow flag, so that means Verstappen cannot overtake. Green flag, yellow flag. Must be for one of the cars behind it. For Charles Leclerc. Unfortunately, I believe he's out of the race. So Sainz is now in third. Carlos Sainz. Wow.
Some information on Leclerc. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Few retirements in this race today. Down to 17 cars. 17. Not as bad as Australia, in all fairness. Well, that must be the worst at the start of the season. We only had 12 runners at the end. But this ain't far off it. Don't get me wrong. Getting a bit slidey out of the spoon corner. Max Verstappen coming to get me. He's for sure got the power, but not enough power.
This is your final lap.
2
Final lap of the
tenths.
race.
The final lap of the race then. And Verstappen has been applying pressure on me ever since really I took the lead. I've also taken the fastest lap as well in this race. So 2 crowns right now coming to me. Will it be the triple treble as they say, or the first Grand Slam in my Formula 1 career of fastest lap, pole position and the race win? Hopefully it will be. Only a few more corners now We go. I'm gonna turn up my engine completely, max it out to defend off Max Verstappen for one last time. Then put it into overtake mode to get the best straight line speed. Back into hot lap mode. And we win in the Rising Sun, or the country of the Rising Sun, or whatever it's called, at the Japanese circuit of Suzuka, which is absolutely fabulous. And we have gained, I believe, a lot of points on our main championship rival, Daniel Ricciardo. I just want to see how many points we've gained, but I certainly know we've gained a lot, because that result for Ricciardo is an absolute disaster in terms of a championship. So where did Ricciardo finish in the end? Let's see. If Ricciardo's finished outside the top 5, we've at least gained minimum 15, so, which I believe he has. So minimum 15, but the maximum could be a whole 25 points gain on championship leader Ricciardo. Obviously, that also, I believe, moves us ahead by 1 point of the man stood right next to me, who is Max Verstappen.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Well, the gap at the top of the championship
12.
cut down after
What a result for Ricciardo. Look how much confusion there is there.
Who was your driver of the day?
Neither Ferrari finished in the top 10. Wow. What a result.
We saw a dip in form from the
That is incredible.
Their lead has taken a significant
Incredible.
blow. Another team that excelled today was Williams, who make further progress up the table. Well, what a weekend that has been.
That
Please
is
join us next
incredible.
time for another thrilling installment
41
of this
points.
Formula
We're
One
not
season.
actually ahead of Verstappen, we're level with Verstappen. I still think this is still a Ricciardo championship to lose. But don't get me wrong, that is definitely then championship back on. For my teammate, only 4 points. If he does not, well, he needs to outscore Ricciardo by a race win, really. And would need Ricciardo to virtually not finish inside the top 8. I think that's impossible. Well, actually, I'm not going to say impossible. It's unlikely, should I say, technically, to be truthfully speaking. We're now 96 points behind Red Bull. I think we have secured 3rd at best now. Well, 2nd at best. I don't really see Ferrari gaining, what, over 100 points on us as a team. I don't see us outscoring Red Bull. I think Red Bull have secured that as well. But, you know, championship drivers certainly back on. You know, so yeah. So let's have a look at this race start again. So there we go, lights out. Let's see how bad we did. Didn't get too much wheel spin actually, got a bit of smoke. But there's the start, as you can see, we get swamped down. We had to lift, and there's a contact between Verstappen and Raikkonen. And literally, this is from Verstappen's, Bottas' view. Oh, that's horrible. So my teammate basically went into the side. From my point of view, well, from, let's see Raikkonen's view. So coming into the first corner, I don't know, I think he had a bit of mid-corner understeer. He sort of like he was going for a corner, let's have a look. Turned in and turned out. Sort of turned in and then turned out, very weird. I reckon both cars could have fit through there. Even though it is hard to go side by side through there. You know, it does require a lot of skill. You know, we obviously decided best course of action. In all honesty, from this point of view, I knew there was going to be something. At this moment, I knew shit. Well, that was the first word that went through my head. Literally, them words. And obviously, at this moment here, I saw a gap I was just hoping he wouldn't turn in. I hoped that was no more, and then at this moment I knew I was safe. It was just about, you know, scrubbing off all that grass that was put on my tyres. Let's have a look further into race, because someone retired. So at this point we're just following, you know, we're following right now at this stage in race, as you can see, Verstappen. That's all we're doing. I want to see what happened with retirees. It was Hartley and Grosjean of what I can remember. So here's Brendan Hartley. So he retired on lap, I think it was just before our pit stop. I want to see what happened, because both of the Haas and Hartley retired very similar times. So I'm just wondering, was there a crash? Or was it just a double DNF randomly at the same time? Because obviously it's a bit unusual to have two retirements at the same time. Sorry if this is causing you motion sickness, if you suffer from motion sickness. But yeah, you know, obviously just want to see what happened between Hartley and Grosjean, or Magnussen, whichever one. So here's Hartley. Oh dear, what happened there? Alright, here it is. So this is Ericsson. So Ericsson's going for a pass, 130. I think Ericsson understeered into him, sort of. They touch, and Hartley sent into a sideways spin. Then the Force India, he sort of half recovers it, tries to correct it, then sent the other way, tries to correct it again, and oh dear, oh that's nasty. You know, so yeah, they both then end up in the wall. So what happened to, was it, because something I'm pretty sure also happened to Grosjean, I heard. Maybe Grosjean retired else. Who was our retirees? Just want to check, sorry. Oh no. It was Ocon, Brendan and Leclerc. So I know what happened to Leclerc, engine failure. But yeah, nasty crash between Ocon and Hartley. Wow, what a crash. But yeah, you know, that was it was a nice race actually. It was quite exciting, obviously. That was you know, we had only one spin during that race ourselves, so we got on the grass. But, you know, I sort of used a flashback a little bit. But otherwise, we had a very clean race, didn't have any problems.
It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it?
A win at Japan. This track is legendary, as I said. I'm just going to say that.
Another podium. You must be getting used to it up there.
Oh, there we go. So that is the media interviews done and dusted. So next round, obviously, USA Grand Prix. Round number 18 of what I'm aware. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Otherwise, that is it really for this video. So just do see how we did in the rivalry points. Have we won our rivalry? Oh, 1 point. So we only need one more point, and we've won the rivalry at Mercedes. And that's our first rivalry against Bottas 1. Now we're going to select a new rival. I think we have to go for Verstappen at the moment. He's been our closest driver. So yeah.
I think your attitude and results might be a good fit for their team. We can talk to them at our next contract review if you're interested.
7,000 resource points at the moment. But yeah, that was an impressive race. It was a good race. You know, so yeah, it's getting tight at the top, put it that way. And that's our 6th win of the season, actually. And as I said, if we get a win realistically in USA and Mexico, we're what? Let's say we gain 7 points. We're right in there for the championship, actually. So I don't think we're going to win the championship despite this late recovery. But I think we're certainly in a good position for Season 2 with Mercedes, which is Season 4, of course. Which I can't wait for, of course. Because, as I say, we're right in there, I think, personally, with the, well, for Mercedes. Like, How many wins is that during the last quarter of the, well, half of the season? So that's 1, 2. That's 5 wins since Austria, which is incredible, actually. Near enough, that's a win every, what, 1, 2... A win like every 2 races, or below, or something. So, incredible second half so far. But yeah. Anyway, next race weekend, we'll just select our tyres, and then we'll leave the video there. This is, I believe, the final opportunity for probably a R&D update or change, regulation change, as they have added into this new game, as you will know. By now, I would have expected. So I don't really need to explain why I'm on about regulation change. Basically, anyone that is new, basically in this game in F1 2018, in F1 2018, you can get regulation changes. Basically, affects the performance of your next car or next season's car. But if you save up resource points, of course, you can basically recover all that loss. You know. So yeah, we're just going to have a look at weather forecast. Weather forecast is dry, which is lovely. And
I've been in touch with
yeah, hopefully we will get another race win this weekend in the USA Grand Prix. But until then, see you all next time for the USA Grand Prix round number 18.